Hey guys, welcome to Take Action Training. I am Julie.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are covering designing a logo that promotes your brand. So don't run away if you already have a logo. Logos in this design class will be for other things you might have, programs or challenges or whatever that you need some type of graphic for. So if you have a logo, don't worry. There's something for you here.
And there's always the opportunity for you to make your own logo. As I mentioned when I first got on before we started recording, I paid to have someone design my first logo, and I felt like it was not a reflection of myself. So as I learned and I got better, I was able to make my own logos that were a lot more reflective of what I wanted as a brand. So this might be the perfect kick in the pants to do something different with your logo if it's not getting you the results or the branding or the feel that you're really after.
For sure. There's definitely times for change, and change is needed. So your brand, everything with business is a moving target. So ultimately you are trying to, you want to capture you, but you're in front of your target market. So that's where this has to appeal. So and one last thing. So what I always talk about, I have a friend here that it lacks heavily in design skills. So I do so much of her design. And part of that is knowing what she wants, but not being able to do it. So there is a time and a place for getting a paid logo. And obviously we do tons of paid things, but we want you to be able to at least come in and design and get a feel for what it is that you're looking for. It's so hard to convey that to a designer if you don't have a relationship with that designer a lot of times, or they have to get to know you. So that's a big deal.
Yeah. And also these TATs, we started them back at the beginning of the year, and we kind of come at these from the place of baby businesses and people who have no idea where to start or what to do. And I like to reference baby business, Jess, way back 7 years ago when I probably should not have spent the money to pay for a logo, and knowing what I know now, I should have spent that money somewhere else if I even had it. But we know a lot of times, especially if you're in network marketing, you just don't have the funds to throw into your business. Now, if you have a bigger brick and mortar or whatever, maybe you can afford to have a professionally designed consultation and logo. But we like for these to be very accessible and approachable for absolutely everyone, including that very beginning of the business building spectrum. So if you have to do it for free, you're going to be armed to do that by the end of this training.
Yes, and with the aid of Canva, which is obviously what we use in a lot of these trainings, it has just been born just a couple years ago. So it has opened up the realm of back 5-6 years ago, you just couldn't design your own logo, really. But Canva affords you the ability to do so much more self-service stuff. So we're excited to bring this to you today. So we've covered a little bit of, obviously, the what. Obviously, we're talking about logo mark, the things that brand you make you stand out, your identifying piece of your business, okay? So, and again, this training doesn't have to be for a logo per se. It could be really for any logo mark, watermark, anything like that. In your social plan, our dashboard will watermark your images. So this will help with that. Even if you have a logo, you might need a different watermark. So,
right. And I think the biggest thing to note here, like when you're talking about logos, especially if you're going to approach it as a novice, as someone who is trying to DIY to make that marketing budget meet, is to not overthink it. I will give you let me just help you shorten that learning curve and tell you that right off the bat, you're probably, the tendency is to overdo it, overthink it, over refine it. And while there is definitely a need for simplicity and refining so that it's professional and on point, you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours overdoing it. So
yeah.
As I put here, in the world of branding and logos, if it's busy, it's bad.
Exactly. Busy is always bad. So
always.
You only have a few moments to make that first impression. So simple, even if it's just a straight up text logo, is much better than overdone, busy. All right. Too many colors, too many whatever. So let's see what, and then one other thing really quick is that I mentioned it earlier, is to speak to your target market. So you have a niche. The people that you are identifying with obviously have something that is similar that they are looking for. All right. And then
scroll down a little bit if you can, please. Yep. Oh, and I'm going to drop this resource. I'm a little late on that. I apologize. But there we go. So you can open this up for yourself. It's short today because I think Julie's going to do a demo for you. But
it's going to be we're going to talk about some of the elements of logo making. So, here we're saying make it simple, but we're going to show you how. So we obviously use Canva. We used to always say that they didn't have an affiliate program, but they do now. So if you click that link, I do want to say we did put a little disclaimer that you can sign up for a pro account. You do not have to have a pro account. This can be done in the free account. So.
Can you scroll the page down? Mm-hmm. I can't see it. Maybe I'm lagging. I don't know, but all I see is the top half of the page.
Oh, hold on. Maybe I'm scrolling on the wrong one. I had two pulled open.
Yeah, I think you might be. That's what I said. I didn't say slow down. I'm sorry.
No, here we go. Can you see this one?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, this is the wrong. I have two open. Let me close the other one so I don't accidentally do that again.
All right, so let's go to the why, because you were covering some of those, and we couldn't quite see them. And I had not shared the resource yet.
Yeah, sorry
Monday after a holiday weekend. Sorry about that.
So I couldn't get it pulled up, and then I pulled it up twice. So, all right.
Exactly.
We really covered most of this in that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, simplicity, professionalism. You're trying to speak to your audience. A lot of times you're going to pair, and we're going to do this in just a moment, but pair it with some type of, artwork that will help it to stand out. And then it's going to show your amazing personality.
Exactly, because you're going to design it. So you won't have to pay the designer's hourly fee to do that whole get to know you consult.
Exactly. And to put that in perspective, I've done logo design forever, and logo design starts out at $300. We do have for network marketers just a little, if you just can't make it through this class and pick up and make something happen, we do have a $100 special for some sort of done for you. So never fear, but you do need a logo to start establishing a brand. Obviously, if you're brick and mortar, you know this, but from network marketing standpoint as well, you're building a brand. All right.
Exactly.
So moving on to the how. Obviously, we're going to do this in Canva. I'm going to pull it up in just a second. They do have some amazing features that I'm going to go over to take as we're doing this. And then here's our affiliate link that does take you to get the pro account, which I'm going to show you really quick as to, I'll point out some elements as we go. Again, you do not have to have the pro account to make this work at all.
Oh, Jen, sorry, we're too late. She already spent hundreds of dollars for a logo already.
Exactly. We understand completely. All right.
Yeah, I do.
Can you tell me if you're seeing?
I'm seeing Canva.
Okay. Let me squish it down some. You'll just have to monitor the chat for me. I'm not doing a great job at that, and I can't see both screens at the same time.
That's what I'm looking for.
So and Debbie. Hey, Debbie. All right. So just to get started, you open up your free Canva account. You're going to click Create a Design. And you can do that from the main window as well. There are places here, lots of places that you can get where you're going. So we're going to just type in logo. It was there, but I just want to show you that there are tons of options that come up in this search. To start with, you can go ahead and just do logo. They all take you sort of to the same place. But if you did fashion logo, it is going to go ahead and give you some searchability there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you just start, if you have no idea, obviously you know what niche you're in, and that's the first step to this. Is you're going to think about your niche, think about what people go look out at some other competitors of yours. Do not copy. We'll just use it for inspiration. And then come back. Don't keep looking at it. Just look a few times, see what you like, and then come back. If you spend too much time looking at the competitor, you will end up invariably take more than you need to. It just happens. All right.
Exactly. And similarly, you can not even necessarily a competitor, but when you see something that kind of strikes you and you're like, wow, I really like that logo, then you can kind of think about how you could replicate that in ways that matched your brand and actually ended up becoming something totally different as you designed it.
That's exactly what I'm about to talk about here, because
I beat you to it.
No, it's part of this perfect segue. So there are only so many templates in Canva, and there are many people that are now using Canva. So what I like to do is, first, I would say if I'm looking for, let's just look at skincare. Let's see what comes up. All right, so there are plenty, but think about, I'm not going to scroll all the way down, but let's pretend that there are 100. All right, there may be more than that. And that's a big niche. So you may, I'm going to stop scrolling so it'll populate. So you may find something right off the bat, but if you don't scroll far enough, it is pretty much a given that someone else is going to have the same design, especially if you don't customize it some. So what I like to do is not segment first, or segment and look and just get an idea. But then I'll also go into, you'll see that there are doctors, churches, events, and I'll use this chiropractic as an example here, or even this doctors. This can be totally used, and find your own piece of an element here and really customize it. So I like to go outside of the niche to do that, if that makes sense. To just so I'm not competing with so many other people that are in my niche if I use Canva. All right. So Jess, give me a niche and let's see. Or you want to do fitness? Do you want to do skincare? What you want to do?
Scentsy. This chiropractic, actually, you could recolor that, and I feel like it'd work for Scentsy too.
It definitely would. So I feel that. So a big part of the logo process is obviously your color, the arrangement. So we talked about it not being busy. I am going to, you'll notice that they always come up as 500 by 500. Something that you'll want to do once you get, and we'll do this at the end. So Jessica, don't let me forget. I want to resize this to make a square logo and a rectangle logo. And actually, let me just skip ahead and do that, because if I don't, I might forget it.
I was writing it down.
The reason I'm going to do it with this exact one.
All right.
The reason you would want to do that, or you definitely want to do that, is so that you have one for your website. Most websites are horizontal in nature, but for sure, obviously, social media is going to be the opposite of that. That's going to be a square. A lot of times they'll square them out into be rectangles. Circles. Oh my gosh. All right. So I've just copied that. In Canva, you use your command or Control C if you're on Control C if you're on Windows, Command if you're on Mac. All right. So see how easy this is to make a square logo. I actually won't do this on this one. I'm going to do a new page. This right here is driving me nuts. Whoever designed this.
Why didn't they center it?
Why didn't they center it? I like it being centered, so I don't have to. The reason is, I'm going to show you, this is a little trick, is if you've been through any of our design classes, you can see that if you take them independently, it will tell you where the center is. same here. I'm going to do these together, but. All right, so this 100% is one that is not customized, but I've just turned it into a square orientation for your socials. All right. All right, so we'll go back and we will make these into something for Scentsy. And we'll do it two ways. We're going to take this. So coloring is a big part. So you will need to think about colors for your brand. In your niche, in some niches, so we'll use Scentsy, for example, you are thinking warm, inviting. You're trying to make people, you wouldn't want to use primary colors, red, yellow, blue, that primary. You want to really tone it down a little bit. So I'm just going to pick. I do want to show you this really quick. When you're thinking about, we're going to do a take action. We probably should have done this take action first. But if you go to Canva and you type in palette, get to it. Canva has its own palette generator.
Oh, yeah.
So you can come here and you can just see what, and you'll sort of understand what I'm talking about as far as candles. I'm thinking these more muted colors. Like I like this. This is something that was in sort of the color scheme that was in that one. These evoke a candle feel for me. Let's get to the next.
And so the good thing about these color palettes is if you go for Canva Pro, you can set up branding kits. And you saw that we have a primary over there on the side, which are the primary socially inclined colors, which are purple, green, teal, and black. For you, that can be totally something different, and you can pull them right there from those Canva color palettes. And I think they even do that for Canva free, but the branding kit is much more robust, obviously, for the paid version of Canva.
100%. Ooh, I saw one I liked.
I liked that one with the crimson in it.
Where'd you go? Which one?
I think it was like that bottom. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know, though. I don't know what the Scentsy colors are.
We're going to make it work. And that's why.
Hey, look, related combinations.
Exactly. So if you like this, you also might like this. So I love that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go with this one because it's here. All right, so all you do once you find one you like, you also can, I'm going to do it this way, and then I'm going to show you how you can come back and add an image. All right, so there's only 3 colors in this one. So all I did was I clicked copy. I say I did. It said I copied. All right, copy. I'll come back here and paste. All right, here is that color. Go back and I'm going to make it the darker one and paste. And here it is. Oh, undo.
I knew you were doing that. Like, wait,
undo.
no.
So Control Z is a quick undo. You also have this button. All right, and then I will grab this one and paste. Oh, again. Undo. See? All right. So all you do to change is you actually have to hit this color first. All right. So I'm not just overly in love with this, but for the
I almost want that cognac to be more of an orange or like a sunset.
Me too. So let's show how to do that.
Because it's like a flame. So for chiropractors, this was kind of like a representation of the spine and the muscles, right? But easily for Scentsy, that could be a flame and the little dots could be a scent.
All right.
And that is how you think about elements from a marketing perspective.
Correct. And what you can do is you can come in
and changing the red.
Oh, which one did you? All right, hold on.
I was thinking that the brown one was going to go more orange. That was my thought. So that it was like a flame.
Correct.
There you go.
Then I want to change the greeny color too. Then.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just say, all right, those are very fallish colors. So we could come back and put this back, and then that works. The green does not work. All right. So same here. That is not a very warm, inviting font. This is cold. It makes you think of doctor's office, chiropractic. So I would find, let's see, what can we name this?
Sense by Sarah. I've been thinking about that for a few minutes.
Okay.
No, you can do whatever.
Let's name it, and let's do sense.
There we go.
Down here. And let's think of something. Be thinking.
We should have given a little more thought to our brand today. Our made up brands.
I want people to see the process that we go through to do these. I like it when it's on the fly because they see that they're not going to get it perfect the first time. It usually takes me, as long as I've been doing it, I will keep adding a new page. I'll leave this one, I'll add a new page and I'll make changes. I'll add a new page and I'll make changes. And then I delete the ones that I don't like. But it does take a little bit to hit on what it is that you really like. So I'm just going to go through. I do want to show that, let's say I wanted this to be a script. You can type script or cursive, and then you can see all of the ones that are here. We talk about all the time the differences in pro and free. The ones with the crowns, if you have a free account, this crown will be yellow. So it will highly stand out that it is a font that you have to pay for, which is nice. But look at all the ones that are here that are scripts that are not paid. All right, let's go back. And that is, oops, where's my, all right. Let's just do this. We won't do it all in. I got a flow here now. See how I'm gonna make that kind of form up into that little scent there?
Smellabration. Yeah, that's probably better. Scents by Sarah.
You want smellabration right here? Instead of scents here. Okay, well, let's do what I normally would do.
Scentfully delicious. No. I love aggravating Julie.
I can go with it. Smellabrations. All right, and we got to find something. So that by Sarah is bad. All right, so we got
what?
This by Sarah here is bad.
Oh yeah.
So we got to find a font. So hopefully you can recognize that kind of doesn't work, and then we've got to play with the placement of it. And I'm going to take it. A lot of the templates, I need you to understand, a lot of the templates. So if you can't figure out how to uncapitalize something, it is because this is checked. So uncap. You can always go back and cap it after, but it just helps when you are designing. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit with the size. All right, let's find a font. All right, so we wouldn't want a script here.
Savita, I'm smiling because I know how ridiculous I am. She used it though. Smellabrations by Sarah.
I like it, actually.
Okay.
Right. And then let's see. Let's get this in the right color really quick. Let's just take this dark. And it really would need to be a little darker. So what I would do, just because that doesn't stand out as much, I would try to stay in that same family, and I would just go a little darker. So
straight down.
Pops a little bit. Okay. You can play with it. All right. Another thing that you need to understand is this was already there. The line spacing is a big deal here. Okay. See, that would be, if you come all the way back to 0, that's the normal line spacing. So there are many taglines that are spaced out. So just if it's not working right for you and you can't figure it out, that's why. Okay, so line spacing. Let's just do, hold on. Let me do Scentsy. Oops, what's wrong here? or scents. Let's just do Smellovations Scents by Sarah. I need it to be a little longer for my taste. All right. I really want it to be, I really want it to tuck up. I want this S to be not where it is. All right. So you're really going to see design style. Yes.
I was just going to say, this is why whenever you have a designer do it. Now, see, Julie's doing it right now for demo purposes in Canva. But when we have, clients who want something completely original, obviously the price is there because you're asking someone to create something completely original. She'll do that in something more like Photoshop or Corel or something that's a lot less user-friendly.
For sure. But, all right. So I would be more inclined to be happy with this. If I were doing it as a designer, I would take this S and curl it. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Curl it back up and run a line through here as well, just to play with it, like that cursive S was extended. Again, I am fully aware, so it'd be like this. I'm fully aware that everyone here is not a designer, but you can play in Canva and really make things your own. Decide, oh, I don't like that at all. What do I need to do with it? So you can see.
But you can also just keep it really simple.
For sure. And we talked about that. So I'm going to go back to one that's a lot more simple here in a moment. But all right. So in that quick, pretend like this is the right color. Here. Let me just get it.
Make it narrow.
Hair better than it is now. Okay. So pretend like that sucker went back around and did this number. Okay. So that's a fine, I think, logo for someone that sells Scentsy. I would ride around with that on the back of my vehicle all day long. Okay. Again, I would take this copy. Let's make a come in.
I'm cracking up because it's like the end of a cooking show where someone just cooked something and they're like, oh my God, this is so delicious.
And you can't even taste it. All right, see how this goes? Like as the designer, this makes me happy. See that B crooks up in there? Would make that a little larger or something like that. It's off center. Everyone thinks everything should be matchy, all centered. But when things are off center, it draws the eye in. All right, Jessica, you hate that?
No, I don't. I like it.
All right. So whoever's a Scentsy person will have a little...
a head start. Find that chiropractor logo and pick your colors.
Exactly. But see what we started with?
You're going to see that all over social media now.
Exactly. One other thing here. So let's just say, obviously we're thinking about, so let's say we don't love that, this graphic here. All right. We love what we got going, but we do not love it. Let's type in flame. I'm in elements and then flame, and then I'm going to change it. So don't see all of these. I'm going to change it to graphics. And then you're going to see tons of options, many options that will not work. You have to scroll and scroll to find something that you really love that is logo-esque. Like I could be happy with that. If you hover over them, you will see again if they're pro or not. Again, this can be done on the free, but you're going to be more limited with options. So let me see if I have a candle. And you're going to get a lot of the straight, these types of candles when you go to graphics, but you can find a warmer. I'm not sure if they have that. And again, we know like the Scentsy brand is a warmer anyway. So we might but it evokes a flame type thought process when you're buying candles. But scroll through and see what you like. All right. Any questions? As far as a lot of times we talk about font pairings. So let me scroll down and let's talk about that just a moment. So if we go to text, you actually, if you scroll down, once you hit text, and again, everything in Canva will show you if it's pro or not, but you want to get out of these because these are not logo-esque type, but these are. So you'll see font pairings, right? Let me see. Let me find one. All right, let's use this one. All right. So same type.
Very popular one.
Yes. Same thing. So you have to ungroup these to make them work. But this could have been I don't think this has a capital. Yes, it does. Sorry. There's one that doesn't. Is that how you spell celebration? 2 L's?
You had an A, I think. Smell, like celebrate.
Thank you. Like that just does not look right. All right. So see how, like, I loved the other one that was there that had something that dipped down, but this one doesn't. But we still can come in and.
Well, let's talk for a minute about why Canva paired these, because that's kind of a big deal, and it's a lot of times when you're talking about pairing a font, you're talking about contrast. So here you have a script with a capital block, and that creates a stark difference, but it's easy to read. And same kind of thing with this. You have a very, like, I don't want to say jarring, but it's very eye-catching. And this script that she's working with right now. And then down below, you have a very classy footed, all caps kind of elaboration on, or tagline, if you will, on what they're talking about. And to me, that second one, the line spacing or the letter spacing is almost so close that I would not respond the way someone probably wanted me to whenever I saw that. So she's going to pull that out just a little. Like, that's a little better to me, but my personal feeling is that I don't really love that font anyway.
I don't love the S there, but I want to talk about when we were talking about your personality. All right. So what does this say? This says fun. This says more
luxury, classy, formal.
Yes. Very, very formal. I like
Let's
that.
try another one. This one is fun. We should have just done today on font pairings because I love font pairings. There, nerding out.
I'm gonna pull up another one, but I'm gonna take another.
Is anyone getting value from this? Because you guys are really quiet in the chat, so I'm just assuming you guys are watching. But this one's kind of casual, so feel free to be chatting away, or at least interacting with us and letting us know if we're hitting it for you.
Yeah, and if you have questions,
we will get to those.
I forgot. I just saw what that looked like.
Go back to Brittany. I really liked that Brittany.
I know.
Font.
I tried to, but
if you're in Bellamy, you'll recognize the Brittany font because they use that a lot in their emails and their marketing.
Lost it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's called Brittany. Just so you know.
Dawn.
So that it's a great pro tip. You're here and it's free if you join live. So we really just kind of opened the door for you, if you've never really thought about font pairing, to look like an absolute pro. And the number one rule is contrast. And you never want to put two crazy fonts back to back, and you never want to do two boring fonts back to back, unless, in some situations like the doctor office, if you look over on the left-hand side there, it says certification of something completion over there next to above the love you. That one is more boring because that one would be used for something more serious, But at the same time, you have a smaller, lighter font with a big, bold statement. And that's the number one rule when it comes to font pairing. Right. So I'm glad that you're here to learn that.
For sure. That's one way someone can definitely mess up their logo, is to pair either two scripts together. Oh my goodness, does not work. too boring fonts does not work. So I'm just highlighting a few of these just to kind of show how this is big and bold, has serifs. This is thin and does not have serifs. So the serif is like these little feet. These are serif fonts. These are non-serif fonts. No feet. Feet or no feet. That's what we usually say. All right.
Exactly.
And again,
but don't go too far on the other side of the spectrum and use 3 fonts. You want to keep it, you really want to keep it to 2 for a logo, if at all possible. Saving, like a design element like Julie was talking about with a crazy S and all of that. But if you get busy, always equals bad. And that's what happens whenever you start adding too many fonts and too many elements, for that matter, into a logo.
Yeah, here is an example of it's not 3. You're going to think it's 3, but that is just an italicized this font. So, actually, it might not be. A lot of times that'll happen. This isn't. This is 3. And you can automatically see that is not as cohesive as some of these other ones that you saw. And you'll see in here how you can just tuck something up in. I could have done cents larger.
Savita, I'm sorry, while you're doing that, Savita used to get in trouble in the military for changing the font to scripts. Oh. Well, I can totally understand that, because I imagine the military is not where they're like, bring your best creative game, girl. Unless, of course, you're in some strategy, planning, strategic, whatever. But anyway, I think that's funny.
Me too. And thank you for your service.
Is there a best size for logos, i.e. too small or too big?
Oh,
definitely.
Good one. Yeah.
And that's all relative to where you're putting it.
Exactly.
So Julie will get there.
Yes. We're going to export this in a moment. We got to keep me on time.
It's 11:47.
Yes. I just want to show you really quick how you can just, again, create. I got to make this same size. So you want these. Oops. Why did that not go?
Savita, I imagine if you really wanted to find fonts that people considered sexy, you could Google what are fonts that are considered sexy, and you could get a good list of them. I don't know if you can sort it here in Canva, but importing fonts. Yes, you can import fonts.
Yes, we have. You probably just saw when I went to one of these here. We have imported fonts. A lot of times in scripts, when we try to go find, that might be one, but here they are.
Well, so, we've also been using Canva for so long that I remember when I first came to Socially and started using it, there were only a few script fonts. So I remember when we bought the scripts to import them, it was because there wasn't a whole lot of choice. I'll be honest, I don't even use those imported fonts anymore, because the world has opened up on Canva in terms of what's possible there. So
for sure,
don't get too distracted by that. The operator.
All right, let me just.
Oh, I'm going to look that one up. Caviar Dreams font. I want to see what it is.
All righty. So let's talk about really quick. Let's say you've got it like you like it, ready to go. Size matters. So they are giving you 500 by 500, okay, as your option. The reason is because that is appropriate for most social media. So what you want to do is you want to group all this. Once you have it like you like it, actually, I want to ungroup this. I pull this back. Most designers do not do this, but I always pull this back as far as I can. I line them up exactly. Then I take it and I group them.
Just click and drag to group, by the way, guys.
And then I will take it and you'll get these, you'll get these little crop marks. Yeah. See how that is showing me that there's equal space all around. I just want to get it to an appropriate size, and then I take it and center it. So I've got the crosshairs right there. And then, so that is, you don't want to do this. You don't want to drag it out all the way to the edge.
What?
For sure.
Why, Julie?
One of the reasons is you need to have white space in your designs. If you try to import this on your page, this is true of everything. If you try to import this on a sales page, in an email, whatever, invariably your text will run right up to the edge and you won't be able to figure out. So go ahead and plan and have white space around this. Okay. In our dashboard, if you don't have white space, so I reformat most people's logo because it comes right to the edge. It will sit right in the bottom of the corner, and that's not a great look. So this is what I have decided on for my social medias. All right. So all I'm doing, so granted, look, we have lots of these pages here. All right. So this is page 2. This is important. You're going to download. We always do it as a PNG, so it will have a clear background. Okay. If you don't want it to have a clear background, so if you have, notice the little crown here, you can set it as transparent. Okay. And you can export it as transparent. If you do not, there is no way to export it as transparent. That is a pro feature. So yes. So download. It's going to keep its spacing around the edges. And it's just going to let me, Wow, I forgot to show you something. Sorry.
Savita has a question, but you go ahead.
Transparent. Here's the biggest part of this that's what I was trying to tell you, is that you have a bunch of them in here. You pick the one you want to download. Otherwise, you get the zip folder and you got everything. All right. So I'm downloading again, just the page 2. And you do the exact same thing for I'm just going to do this. You do the exact same thing for your, this version, your horizontal version. If you do this, bring it down to where there is an appropriate amount of white space. If you keep it on the 500, otherwise you can pick this up and you can create a size that would be like 200 by 600 as an appropriate size. But you can certainly, it's just going to have a lot of space at the top. It's not necessarily going to matter unless you put it on a text page, and it's going to create a bunch at the top. So
Savita, if you just wanted to use the F or the S and the F for this font, you would just make 2 text boxes and
yes,
just move them around as you'd want.
That's exactly what I did here. That the S was by itself, and then there's the.
That way she could offset it the way she wanted to.
Right. It was when you straight rolled it out, the Melibrations was down lower. I wanted to build a space to put this Sense by Sarah in that. And again, I do want to say that I would have drawn something to go here that was a little more curvy, and it would have actually tipped up to kind of create that flow, but still liking it. All right, questions. We only did one option. We did talk about, bringing in other elements. We talked about font pairings. Typically, you will have some type of tagline. You do not have to, but a lot of times you do. You want people to understand what it is that you do by looking at it. Again, you have to balance if it's busy. And this is getting borderline busy, in my opinion, but I still like it. But it's getting there. We couldn't do anything else to it.
Exactly. And if you needed a favicon, which I think we'll do a training on favicons too, for those of you who have a website and you want that little thing up on the tab that kind of denotes where people are, you could use just the little flame and stretch that out, and that could be your favicon. And that's a big part of your branding. People have tabs open, and And it really does look so professional when that matches the logo, because it immediately says to them that, oh, yeah, that's the logo. It matches the branding, and it just creates that reinforcement of just how professional you are.
Yep. And all I did, I just stretched. You just watched it in real time. I stretched it. I'm not making it transparent. I'm downloading it, and it's going to be my Smellabration favicon.
Exactly.
Right. And there it is. So that's a big part. That would also be appropriate for if you had needed a watermark. We do for our dashboard. We do these, and we'll take this a lot of times. I'll make this gray, not that it's going to matter, but I will set a circle underneath it. Where's my elements? And keep talking, Jess.
We're at 11:55, Julie.
All right. Almost done. So then if you wanted to use this to brand your images with, go backwards. We're going to make it white.
So Deanne, a favicon, if you open up a few tabs in your browser, I don't know if you're on your phone or not, but Julie's showing you across that. You see the worlds, those little gray globes. That means they haven't set a favicon, and that, while it's okay, that just there needs to be a favicon. It's so easy to do in the website design softwares that a lot of us use on our own. And it's so easy to design right here in Canva. She literally just pulled that out of her logo, stretched it out, and now there it is. And you can just put that into your WordPress or Shopify or whatever it is.
Yeah. And if notice, like some of them have like Canva has a circle around it. It stands out. Facebook has a circle around it, but these are square. So if either of these would work for a favicon. So the whole thing, it would be a big white box, or it can have a shape, like that is very shapen. Shapen, what a word. And ours, see how ours is just our logo?
Shapely.
Thank you. It is shapely. Shopify's is their bag. All right. So you get the idea. So it doesn't have to be just a big square.
Exactly.
All right. Anything glaringly that I've missed as far as whatever? I think not. I think that you can definitely go through. I just want to show again, there are so many templates. Mm-hmm. You can search in your niche. I would do that, look and see what's there, but then go into another niche. So, but there are so many. I could do this for like 8 hours. Like, I love this little chef's. I love a graphic inside a graphic. But there are so many to choose from. So there's again.
You can do this.
Have no excuse. Love this. There's so many I love. All right. So take your resource. Come back to the group if you do a watermark, a favicon. If you have another program, if you have a challenge and you can do, you have a different name for it, design a little branded logo to go with it. So when you're advertising it, lots of uses for this other than logos.
Exactly.
Or your main business logo.
Awesome.
All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Come tell us in the group if you liked it.
For sure.
Bringing sexy back to financial services. I like it.
Right.
Yes, go make you a logo for Simply Savvy. I love it. All right, again.
Okay. And something that we have not said yet. If this is your first time on and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. We've already done several trainings on Canva design, image design basics. We went all the way through a freebie training. We went all the way through like 6 weeks on Facebook optimization, 4 weeks on Instagram. So if you missed those, don't forget to go get your seat in the Take Action training program. It is still $99 for all 50 trainings We are moving that to a membership model eventually. I had to move and I got sick, and Julie is running 2 businesses at one time. So it will go up. So take advantage of that, especially if this is your first day and you're like, oh man, I really need to learn more. That's what these Take Action trainings are about. We meet you where you are at the beginning. So
100%. And you can do them on your own timeline. So I pasted the link. I'm going to paste it again because there's been a lot of comments. But if you want them, you better grab them because they are going up. We just have had bigger fish to fry lately.
Whew, no joke.
So we are making some changes to lots of things. So stay tuned.
Oh, thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn.
You guys join us on Thursday. It's an open discussion on anything marketing that you would like to discuss. If you're there, you determine what we are talking about. So we hope to see all of you there.
I have an idea. If anybody is struggling with their logo, get it started.
And we'll help you.
Get your best option there and then bring it. And then we'll see if we have ideas to refine it for you.
Awesome. All right, everybody.
Thank you
so much.
Have a great one.